Hey everyone, Laurel here, Minnesota Zone 5A. I'm going to try to do a faster tour. Super gusty, windy day today, and we started out with sun, but now clouds are rolling in. I know we kind of had chances of random showers rolling through. So, I'm not, excuse me, although I've been working on the pots, I'm almost done. I just have this section with kind of the blue and white and purple left to do. I will do a full tour of all of this once I finish getting all the pots planted, and then we'll go through everything in detail. Hopefully I can do that this afternoon if I don't get rained out. I did finish planting up everything along under the windows, kind of pink, red, yellow, orange color motif over there. Over here I planted this up yesterday. I've got caladiums in here, but the elephant ears and canna are starting to come up, and then kind of coral and orange is the color scheme. Still, as you can see, a million things to get planted on the table. We've got the trees that I'm caring for my friend. This is a Japanese maple, and it has some new growth coming up on the ends there. So I was thinking about up-potting those, but I think hopefully she'll be able to take them soon. So I think I don't want to risk shocking them by doing that. So I will leave them in their smaller pots, just keep them watered. I did expand, kind of cut the edge out. I think I need to, the edge is all wavy here just because I haven't gotten to everything yet, but my Dahlia patch I got started. So I planted, see if I remember all my dahlias. I know I have 3 cafe au lait, 4. I've got 3 smaller ones and a big one. And these were all started from tubers at the same time. I've got 1 Haley Jane. That one now I'm drawing a blank. I've got, they're all dinner plate dahlias, and I'm completely drawing a blank on that. That's a Stacky's Humelo that I got on clearance, 75% off last season, and just popped it in there. We've got space for accessing the bird feeders here. And then I have 1 golden scepter, which is like a pom-pom dahlia that I overwintered. That tuber clump is massive. I probably will have to divide it at some point. But 2 Manhattan Island. We've got, this one is a mystery, but I think it's a small one, like dark horse maybe, with pink blooms, darker foliage. We have another Haley Jane, and then what I think is a fairway spur, although it could be a golden scepter, over here. And I'm still, I'll be placing those. We've got between 2 bird feeders here. So anyway, so Dahlia patch, I'm excited for that. That's be the first year having like this full side planted. No updates over here. The Nepeta just looks absolutely stunning. So pretty. Still waiting for these allium here to open fully, although it won't be long. And we've got buds starting to open on our phlox, our opening act phlox. The Weigela is in full stunning display right now. So beautiful. This one is called Crimson Kisses, and it's like a blue-red, like a deep, like fuchsia almost colored blooms. Oh, they're so pretty. I just love how, I love how Weigela have blooms just down the entire length of their branches. So they are literally just absolutely covered in them. And then that against the blue purple of the Amsonia. Beautiful. And then hopefully by next weekend, my peach drift rose is starting to open as well. This is all covered in buds. So those 3 together, before the Amsonia goes out of bloom, make a stunning combination. So I'm excited to see that. These 2 sedum are doing really well. I do not remember the ground cover sedum. I planted that a number of years ago. But this is the lemon jade upright sedum. And then dark towers over here. And the big hosta with the little lime hydrangea. Then Noblesse Yarrow started opening. This will be covered in white blooms pretty soon. It will stay in bloom all summer. Not too much to update yet. When that Barbara Kensington clematis on the trellis opens, that'll be gorgeous. Oh crap, I forgot to cut back the allium. I'll have to get in there after this and cut back the bloomed out allium in this bed because I don't want them to seed. They're purple sensation. I've got little purple sensation seedlings coming up everywhere. Still have not cut back this aster. That when I come over here with my clippers, I will do that along with the allium. I need to thin out these cosmos and get ready because I'm going to put some zinnias, and then I started a bunch of straw flower from seed as well. So I don't know if I'll. Last year I dug them up and I gave them to somebody, but I don't know. This year I might just. I don't know if I have the time and energy for that. I've been picking strawberries. These marigolds, same thing. These are getting massive, and they're going to shade out my carrots. So those have got to go. Whether I give them away or just dispose of them, I don't know. There's seedlings just coming up everywhere from the ones that were planted in this bed. So this thing, bags of mulch have been getting more and more terrible and more expensive. That was in a bag of pine bark mulch. The bag felt unusually heavy and it didn't feel like the mulch was wet. So I thought, that's weird. Well, it turns out it was this giant iron, some sort of piece from some equipment or machinery. So I don't know. I got a doorstop now, I guess, or something. I did start mulching. I like using the large. I have more bags of the large mulch. I like using for walking paths this large pine bark mulch, and it takes longer to break down as well. So for walking paths, it's great. Don't like it as much for around plants because it doesn't really do all that much. I like the finer pine bark mulch to put around plantings. But even that, it's like, the bags at Menards this year or Home Depot are like $5 or more. And there's just more chunks of wood. Like this bag, I only had one bag on hand. I need to get some more, but like those 2 chunks of wood were in there. Like it's not even bark anymore. It's just crappy wood with a little bit of bark. And they keep charging us more. Gorgeous salvia, back to the fuchsia. You can see my strawberries. These are the Seascape. I just ate a handful. They're just coming hot and heavy right now. Back to the fuchsia salvia. Beautiful pink blooms. I love these when they're in bloom. And then the nepeta right behind it there. Sorry, you'll probably hear some gusts of wind. Blew my basket around. Hopefully the mic is blocking most of it, but love that with the sage leaf willow. This whole motif this time of year. I didn't do that on purpose. I kind of accidentally made things that bloom all at the same time. Whoopsies. But they do look gorgeous together. The probably butter and sugar iris, if I'm right about what it is. And then this clematis started opening. I'll have to find the tag for that one somewhere. Isn't that gorgeous? That purple with the ruffle and double blooms. Oh, so pretty. I see on my astilbe over here, they've got some blooms starting to poke up. I don't see any sign of bug, insect, or fungal damage on this viburnum that's mostly dead. So I don't know. I think I will be digging that out. They do tend to, I love the glossy leaves. This one looked great last year. I'm so glad I got to enjoy it last year. You know, that beautiful glossy leaf. But this gets eaten up by viburnum beetles. This variety, it is just full of holes. So I think I'll let that one go. I've got an evergreen that I want to put in here anyways. Crested surf fern and sun king aurelia looking great. This is a lady in red fern. Or, no, just a lady. Is it a lady fern or a lady in red? One of the two, unless they're the same thing and I just don't know it. It's definitely a lady fern. Really pretty. So I think I might move that over and do an evergreen in here. Little lime hydrangea and this brunnera that survived, the only one over here that survived our winter. Its big, beautiful leaves. This clematis is just like full. Oh, so gorgeous. I need to plant clematis all along this fence because they're so stunning. They're expensive, but I just score after season sales. Look at this clump all together. It's so pretty. yeah, if you can get them at the end of the season for like, well, most of mine I got for $5, but even now $10 I think is a good deal on clematis. That's the way to do it. Otherwise they're like 25, 30 bucks plus. Got the dogwood and the North Pole arborvitae. This is the other pair to that viburnum that's glossy foliage, also not looking great. It's like really bare in the middle, but it's much more alive. Still have not gotten to, I've just been too busy planting, but I will get to taking over the rest of the grass over here with my mismatched broken bag mulch deal. This is starting to open. That'll be more spectacular next year, but the salvia down there, that is the, what did I say it was? Sky blue something. See, I knew it last week, and now I'm completely forgetting. But I did get annuals in the ground. These were just, they can't stay in their plant cans for very long. They're just so big and healthy. So these are the Ageratum Aguilera Sky Blue. I do have one more, so I might pop one more in there. These were indistinguishable from the Proven Winners. What's that one called? The Blue Ageratum that they have. It's possible they could be the same plant. I don't know if the Proven Winners one is a patent that they own, that they created, or if it's just they trademarked the name. They do that. That's another thing that they do, where it's the plant isn't their property. Like lemon coral sedum, for example, that is not owned by Proven Winners, but they patent the name, so nobody else can call that variety of sedum lemon coral. Only they can sell it as lemon coral sedum. Because lemon ball sedum, which is one that I usually buy, is the exact same plant. I mean, literally, it is the same plant. But unless it's Proven Winners selling it, they can't call it lemon coral. So just FYI, I don't know a lot about plant rules, but I know that. I only had one bag of mulch, so I just kind of concentrated on the front over here. On this side, the Halcyon Blue Hosta. I did start putting out my concrete pieces too. But I planted the white Diacia over here in this area. Those autumn frost hosta, they're just they just glow. They're so beautiful. My number one favorite hosta. And I love these two next to the blue one over there too. I still need to trim back that viburnum bush so that you can see the June hosta. It's kind of blocking, and it's on top of the daffodil foliage. I left this blank. I have some dwarf snapdragons I started from seed that I think I'm going to plant in there. And then I mixed the Diacia, the white. This Diacia is called Trinity Grace, the white color. And it's white, but kind of peachy pink tone to the blooms too. I don't know if you can see that. Really pretty. And then I mixed it in with 4 Persian Shield. So I'm hoping they can mingle. I did Persian Shield over here last year, and they did really well. Blooms on the Silver Gumdrop Heuchera started up. And here you can kind of see this is the Trevi Fountain Lungwort. The blooms are pretty much done. Just a few pops of blue in there. But you can see what the leaves are going to look like. And it'll look a little ratty right now. This whole bloom stalk I cut all the way back. All the way back, because that won't sprout anything new. So it's kind of a chore, because I don't want to cut. It's easy if you do the Chelsea chop and just cut the whole thing to the ground, but I don't want, 4 weeks with nothing there. So I take the time to go, and I mean, I might do some of them in a batch and get some of the leaves with it on accident, but I do leave the true leaves that are emerged so that I have something there. Viburnum trimming to do. That branch is growing into the fragrant bouquet hosta, and I need to trim this. I do let the bleeding heart die back, but I try to trim off the blooms because they tends to seed itself everywhere. So, but that foliage will slowly yellow and die over the summer. Otherwise, things looking good over here. I did notice this is a Sun King Aurelia. I love these. I wish I had spots for more. There is new growth coming. The back of the DeGroot Spire Arborvitae that got really winter burned is flushing out some new growth. So I think it will be okay. Hopefully we get good moisture this summer and not a horrible, dry, freezing cold winter. Just a normal freezing cold winter. This other viburnum also died halfway back, so I will not be planting any more viburnum in my yard. And if I have to take that one out, I won't replace it with another one, I don't think, because so far I'm not having the best of luck. And you can see these also get eaten up by the viburnum beetle. All those holes. So it's a bummer because they're a nativar or native cultivar. But what can you do? I don't want extra maintenance. The tree is doing well. I just watered we got some really good rain last week, and my soil is clay, so it holds on to moisture. But it doesn't have roots in the soil yet. The surrounding soil helps hold in moisture to the root ball. But I'm just trying to keep the root ball itself moist. It did get a little bit of browning on the tips of the leaves. A little bit of tip burn. That could just be transplant shock. I don't know. It also got really hot right after I planted it, but then just for a day, and then it cooled down and we got some good rain. So I think it will be okay, hopefully. Trees are always an investment, so I hope so. Oh, I'm getting blooms. I just noticed this. Blooms coming up on this Artemisia. I haven't had one of these bloom before because I've never had a perennial one. These pink blooms. Now, see, I said this was pink fizz. It could be pink revolution. I can't remember, but it's a heucherella. My first instinct was pink fizz, but it could easily be revolution. Just full of these like bubblegum pink blooms. And you can see this from the house, and they just kind of wave over this area. So pretty, and this area is really full this year for the first time. Very lush looking. I did trim back the elderberry branch that was hanging over the blue angel hosta. So there's kind of a hole in it where it was pressing on the hosta, but that will fill right in. This hosta is also mature for the first year. Those big, huge leaves. Those get humongous. And then I've got this I started from seed this year. That's a Gaillardia. Arizona apricot, I think. And then this is another one I started from seed last year. They're perennial here in my zone, but they're short-lived perennials. They last long because they self-seed in nature. Snake root. Look how cool that foliage is, that dark foliage sticking up over everything. I'm excited to see that bloom. And then the first blush hosta is blushing. It's got that kind of reddish tones to the leaves. I had to try this one because it's the first sort of red hosta, red foliage, even if it's just, a blush, as the name implies. So cool, and it keeps its red stems. It does sort of age out to more of a solid green leaf later as the season goes on and later in the season. So it will just be a green hosta, but how cool that it starts out red. We've got lamium starting to bloom back there. I've got a whole mix of ground covers in this area. I originally planted them because I have an infestation, now I've gotten it under control, of purple bellflower in this area. Very difficult to eradicate because the roots are rhizomous, so they spread out from the roots, plus it spreads by seed. And the roots go up to 18 inches deep, so you can keep pulling and pulling and pulling forever, and you're never going to get it all. I didn't know what it was at first, so I tried planting a bunch of ground covers after I pulled it to try and choke it out, but that won't work with that type of weed. So Roundup is the only thing that I've found works. Maybe there are other weed killers that would work, but I have Roundup, so that's what I'm using. I did plant up this hanging basket. We've got the Supertunia Sparkling Rose. No, Superbena Sparkling Rose. Supertunia Tiara Pink. I've got a pink Lophos in here, so that will trail down. I was going to do a Mezu, I'm debating still. And we've got a white Scaevola. And that is it. Yeah, I didn't put the Mezu in there. We've got buds all over the Jackmanii clematis. That'll open a vibrant purple. And the elderberry its flowers have turned into its red berries. Very decorative. Love those. And we've got still blooming here on the Jacob's Ladder. And Rainbow's End Hosta. This might be my second favorite hosta. I love that leaf. Those stripy leaves. It's so striking. And lots of weeds that eventually I will get in here and clean out. And the Ajuga is bouncing back beautifully from this cold winter. And Solomon Seal is just tough as nails. If you've got a tough spot and you need a tough plant, that's one to plant. I will eventually, this edging will be rounded out and look much nicer. Right now it's kind of encroaching, but there are only so many hours in the day. And I get tired. Yeah, Hosta's still looking good over here. Nothing to update there, I guess. Bobo hydrangeas, these are very late bloomers, so Geum is still blooming. This dianthus started up. Oh, there's my neighbor with his scooter. He repairs vintage scooters. It's his hobby, his passion. So he's always working on those and riding them around. We've got the Kinsley's Ghost Honeysuckle bloomed out. Just, well, right now it's cloudy, so not as many bees, but just full of bees usually. I can't really smell it. It's not a super fragrant honeysuckle. It's grown for the foliage more. It kind of has that blue eucalyptus look to the foliage. And that's why I bought it. I like it. I did trim back this little walking path, and already you can see tendrils taking over. This thing is massive. So I'll have to keep that trimmed. And I did pot up this geranium over here. I don't think there's much to update. I've got some blooms started on the lamb's ear coming up. I do like to let that bloom. And the lady's mantle is in full bloom with those chartreuse fluffy blooms. Another tough as nails plant, can take sun or shade. It hasn't batted an eye at our cold or mild winters, drought, rain. It don't care. It doesn't care. This is growing like crazy too, the dogwood. This Ligularia is looking glorious this year. Finally full grown. And these hostas will definitely be split next year. There's my little chancha statue. And another autumn frost, my favorite. You can hear the bees just buzzing on this thing. I think that's it for back here. I can bring you up front. Although it'll be kind of loud. Maybe I will pause and come back when he's, yeah, I think that's what I'll do. When he takes a break or he, oh, wait. Okay, maybe I can go. Let's see. If it gets loud though, I'll pause and I'll be back. Yeah, planters are doing great. Okay, here we go. I did trim up all the evergreens up here, the yews, just this morning, trying to get some of the dead stuff out and just shape them. They just really have to be kept in check because they get so humongous, otherwise they'll take over. But the smoke bush, full of its smoke blooms over here. Oh, busy on the street. Okay, traffic's gone. Yeah, these two especially got really winter burnt, so they're not looking great, but now at least they're shaped up. I got a lot of the dead stuff out so that air and light can get in there. So they'll bounce back. They'll be just fine. We've got the sedum about to open still, and campanula over here. What kind is this? Okay, pause. I'll be back. Okay, we're back. I did not think of the name of the campanula, though. Blue. Something blue. I had white ones in here, too, but I think they died off. Well, a couple haven't opened. Maybe they're still left. Autumn Charm sedum and the... Oof. Goodness, crazy blue Russian sage is looking good. Let's see. I did trim up these boxwoods. I do not do a very good job on these. I hate trimming stuff like this that needs maintenance and needs to be shaped. I should get a hedge trimmer. That would make it easier. But I'm just doing the chop and drop. So the really big chunks and big branches I cleared out of here. But I'm just going to leave that on the ground, and I'm going to mulch right over it as soon as I pick up more mulch. And it will become mulch and eventually break down. So easier than trying to clean all that up. The Weigela is starting to get back. I couldn't bear to cut these long stems off because they're the only ones that are going to give me blooms after being crushed a couple years ago, but it's bouncing back. This grass just looks a mess. I can't wait to get this out of here when I have the time. But the dianthus is pretty. I would like to keep the dianthus, but I'm not risking keeping any grass, so they're going to go as a set when I dig it up and give it away. Otherwise, I just have some weeding to do up here. Cleaned up this yew. Looks so much better. And the Caesar's brother iris opened up. God, this wind. Man, sorry if it's messing up the sound here. Try and put my back to it. Yeah, the Caesar's brother, just that gorgeous violet purple. Love that. And then this has that nice kind of bluish grassy foliage all season. For me, it doesn't brown out until the fall, so until frost. And then this is a ground cover campanula. It wasn't marked. I don't know what variety it is. It was on clearance, so I picked it up. Bud's about to open on this opening act pink dot. This one is, both of these are way smaller than they were last year. I think they got hit hard by this winter. I need to get that. It's a walnut tree. Squirrel has apparently buried a walnut from somebody's tree in their backyard. And you have to get in there with a big, I use like the Cobra style weeders and pop the whole walnut out of there, because if you pull on it, it's not coming up. It'll just break off the stem. I think that's Rose Marvel Salvia. It could have been mislabeled, but pink salvia there. This container's doing well with the Senecio Angel Wings, Dichondra Silver Falls, and the violet blue Scaevola. Sadly, the blooms are almost done on the Amsonia over here. I think that's it. Well, I'm getting chilly. This wind has got cold all of a sudden. I did clean up this barberry a little bit. Pretty sure that's Patriot Hosta back there. Let me go look. Still haven't planted this. I need to get my containers done first. Then I can get this area done. Oh yeah, more blooms opened here on this gorgeous clematis. So pretty. All right, well, I think that's it. We'll call it a day for now. There's some disturbances today, so that's okay. You know, just neighborhood sounds, gusting wind, all the fun stuff. Aren't these violas and pansies just so cheerful? It's hard to pull these out, but I do just pop them in other places, so. Oh man, I'm glad. I hate doing these yews. I'm just sitting there like cursing the whole time, cursing them, but now it's done and they do look better, thankfully. All right, well, thank you so much for sticking around, watching the video. I hope you all are having a great day and enjoying your gardens. We'll see you next time. Please subscribe.